Dorian is continuing its steady strengthening trend at this time, now with winds of 150 miles per hour and a pressure of 942 millibars, although some satellite estimates could argue for slightly higher. 26.1 north, 73.9 west as of 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're looking at Treasure Key for the CDPS for a potential landfall on September the 1st, late. Wind speed expected very high, could be a strong Category 4 when it strikes that area, and heavy rainfall could total 20 inches possibly if the centre of the storm tracks directly over the island. It is a stage 6 on the CDPS for that location. There it is presented on the map with the wind field, which is becoming ever more uniform at this time as well. Looking at the distances, 231 miles from Nassau, 303 from Freeport, 392 from Miami, Florida, 488 from Orlando, and 553 from Jacksonville. The warnings haven't changed at all since late last night. Hurricane warnings remain in effect for the northwestern Bahamas, and a hurricane watch is in effect for Andros Island. The watches and warnings haven't yet reached the US coast, but the National Hurricane Center advised that could happen later today. Here is the rainfall expectations over the next 5 days, just about heading off the screen now, but I can tell you along the coast of South Carolina, the GFS is calling for quite a large amount of rain, maybe up to 12 or 13 inches, and possibly that is still quite some way out. It could end up being higher than that. The models are all in a fluster today, really. They've been trending towards the east, and the uncertainty has risen a lot on exactly just where the storm is going to track. It could make landfall anywhere from central Florida all the way to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Here is what the GFS is predicting though for the next few days. There you can see it passing very close to the northernmost Bahamas, and then it starts to turn towards the north, increasing in size as it does so, remaining very intense as you can see on the red colors there in that imagery, and the GFS at least is calling for the storm to accelerate up and then do another turn and scrape the eastern coast of the United States, all the way from Florida up to North Carolina. Looks like it will get tropical storm or possibly hurricane conditions. These are the chances of tropical storm force winds: 99% at Treasure Key, it may as well be 100, 84% at West Palm Beach, 85 at Port St. Lucie, 89 at Melbourne, and 63 at Jacksonville. Percentages now rising into the 60s for coastal South Carolina as well, Myrtle Beach into the mid-60s I think. This is the intensity guidance from the models. The H-Mon still bullish about a Category 5, it is still a possibility, but most models are set on it remaining Category 4 for the next couple of days at least. Wind shear is slightly higher than it was yesterday, and it will be on a very slow increasing trend, but look at those models now. Compared to yesterday, when a lot of them, almost all of them, were calling for a Florida landfall, they've now completely turned the other way, and almost a full recurve. Whether that trend continues remains to be seen, but along the coast of Florida and inland in some areas, there could still be the potential for huge flooding issues, storm surge, and obviously strong winds. Here's the latest satellite imagery of the storm progressing in a west-northwesterly direction, almost due west now actually, and is still really heading for the northernmost Bahamas. So the track up to about the landfall in the Bahamas is pretty much set in stone. It could deviate northward just a little bit. The real question is, how much will the storm slow down? That will probably decide how far east it ends up going. If it keeps going quicker towards the west, then the chances of a Florida landfall will increase again. But it's looking fantastic on visible today, and there is still a chance this could become a Category 5 storm out in the western Atlantic. We'll have more updates on the Force 13 channel throughout this evening. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com. You can also find our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, you may well be. Good chance of that. Subscribe if you haven't. You can also find our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text, and our Twitter handle, it's @Force13 on there. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. With a special thanks to these people for being our most valued patrons this month: You can also check out our growing merch store so you can show Force 13's colours wherever you go. You can also find a link to our Discord server underneath this video in the description.